Okay, let's talk a little bit more about exercise too, and we'll kind of address that.
Okay.
So there's two types of exercise that most people will do. They'll either do aerobic exercise or they do anaerobic exercise. So aerobic exercise is exercise that is utilized with plenty of oxygen. This type of exercise would be like walking, okay, or maybe treadmill action. As long as we can still talk normally, that means our body is using adequate amounts of oxygen as a form of fuel to provide energy for the body to carry out that activity. Okay, anaerobic exercise, anaerobic means without oxygen. So this is an aerobic activity, such as walking, can be quickly turned into an anaerobic activity by sprinting or running. What happens? We start to pant. We're creating an oxygen deprivation in the body. We're trying to catch up with that oxygen need by breathing faster. Okay? Those two types of exercises stimulate the body differently. Aerobic exercise focuses on burning sugar. Anaerobic exercise will actually trigger hormones that later will burn fat as a source of fuel. So aerobic exercise is very easy to do for most of us. Okay, because as long as we can talk normally while we're doing that particular activity, that's aerobic exercise. But if our health is not very good or we're not used to exercising, even little things can very quickly be pushed into an anaerobic state too, if we're just not used to it. So generally they say about the first 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic activity is you're just simply burning sugar. Okay, you've got sugar reserves in your body. It's what your body's using for energy. Once you get past that 20 to 30 minute mark, now you're starting to get into some fat burning potential. But it also depends on how efficient your body is at burning sugar. If you're not a healthy person and you have struggled for a long time with weight and health, you may be a very efficient sugar burner and you may be sugar burning for the whole hour. So just because you go and you work out for, hey, I put in a half an hour today, or I put in 40 minutes of aerobic exercise, you may have only got 10 minutes of potentially tapping into fat reserves. Okay? The other one is anaerobic exercise, though. And anaerobic exercise can be used to stimulate fat burning. It's more of the burst type training. So you exercise really hard. I mean, your whole exercise regimen may take a whole 20 or 30 minutes, or even less. You know, where you work out really hard and then you take a short break. And you work out really hard again and you take a short break. So what we're doing with this type of exercise is we're stimulating through this intense exercise the hormones, but the hormones peak 24 to 48 hours later, usually when we're asleep. Okay? So we do this type of exercise, or we deal with stress during our lives. We sleep at night. Our body's supposed to be able to recover and regenerate and rejuvenate. There's different cycles of sleep. Okay? We have a 90-minute cycle that our body will undulate through, our body will go through, and there's 4 different levels of sleep as we sleep at night. The deepest level of sleep is where we rejuvenate and we repair. And it's in that level of sleep there where the body will take those fat-burning hormones, where they peak and they become active, and they start breaking down fat as a part of the healing process. That's where we burn most of the fat. Our body uses that to heal the body. But if most of our sleep just kind of skims the surface, you know, my bladder wakes me up, I got TWB, teeny weeny bladder syndrome, and you know, I just feel like I have to get up and go to the bathroom all the time, you know, and then you can't get back to sleep, or you're a very restless sleeper where you can't get into deep sleep. Number 1, you can't heal and rejuvenate. Number 2, you're going to struggle to get into fat burning. And because of that delayed response, you know, I do my really good 7-minute workout, core workout, everything today, and I eat really well, and then I reward myself with some dessert at night. The fact that I ate that now cancels out the fat-burning hormones. Because if you give the body the opportunity to choose between fat burning or fat storing, it will choose fat storing. So we work out really hard to promote fat burning, and then I eat that ice cream or eat that Haagen-Dazs bar at night. And I just canceled out all those efforts. So we've got to get to where there has to be a period of being good. We've kind of abused things for too long. So we have to get to that point in our lives where we're like, okay, I've danced the jig, now I need to pay the piper. And with some body types, it's even just a little bit of some things is enough to keep that fat blocking active. And that's usually what happens when we get the real stubborn, the last 5 or 10 pounds or something like that. It's like we need to tighten up even more if we feel like it's worth it. If not, you know, you're still feeling pretty good.